At Mitsuya Private High School, a popular gathering spot for troublemakers, there's a surprising sight, a delicate and beautiful girl named Kiryu and Yuri. She reveals she transferred from Elizabeth Private Girls' School and introduces herself to the class. As everyone stares in disbelief and curiosity, the teacher reveals that she is the daughter of a wealthy representative. The boys start gossiping about why she would attend a school like theirs. Class boss Takahashi Kakeru jokes about making her his woman, causing the other boys to comment on his behavior. They speculate whether Yuri will be intimidated or not. The teacher, growing impatient with Takahashi, scolds him in front of the class. Outside, Takahashi continues to make inappropriate remarks about Yuri, claiming she is his woman. Yuri, refusing to retreat, seizes his hand and says something unexpected. Meeting someone like him was beyond her imagination. Takahashi is surprised and thrown off guard. Curious, he asks what she means, as Yuri moves closer and confesses her lifelong fascination with Yankee Manga. She explains how the passionate characters in manga go through hardships to achieve their goals, finding inspiration in their dedication. Takahashi looks puzzled and slightly offended. Despite his reaction, Yuri continues to hold his hand and questions the source of his confidence and his use of harsh language. She also wonders why he always sticks with a group of friends. This causes Takahashi to react strongly, calling her a witch and demanding she release his hand. But Yuri remains calm, expressing her genuine admiration without any hint of mockery. She apologizes for her excessive enthusiasm and assures him she won't hold his hand again to avoid further embarrassment. When the bell rings for class, Yuri takes her seat, but not without creating some excitement. She notices a classmate wearing a unique cropped uniform, enthusiastically expressing her admiration for its style and asking where he got it tailored. The boy remains silent, attributing his quietness to his shy nature. The male students in the class quietly discuss the peculiarity of the only female student being wealthy. They unanimously agree that she is the most attractive girl in the school, with some even claiming she is the most beautiful they have ever seen. One troublemaker in the group makes an inappropriate joke, sparking some controversy. However, he accidentally collides with another student who is picking up papers, leading to an argument where he insults the student. The student mutters his annoyance under his breath as he collects the scattered papers. Yuri observes from a distance, noticing the student's struggle, and offers to help. The student declines her assistance nervously, warning her not to get involved with him. Despite his reluctance, Yuri persistently asks for the reason behind his statement, but he remains silent. He quickly snatches the papers back from her hand and stands up suddenly, feeling a bit embarrassed by the entire situation. Yuri's smirk grows wider as she eagerly offers to help. Ignoring the hesitant guy's stuttering objections, she continues forward with relentless energy, disregarding his efforts to halt her progress. In the meantime, Takahashi observes from afar, muttering darkly and clearly annoyed. His friends share knowing smiles, one teasing him about his increasing frustration and the other casually making a sarcastic remark about the girl. Takahashi decides he's had enough and beckons his friends, declaring it's time to address some unresolved issues. The group generates a sense of anticipation even among the casual observers, as Takahashi claps his hands dramatically, surprising everyone, including the nervous guy who appears to be preparing for the worst. The crowd congregates, and just as tensions seem to escalate, Takahashi flings the door open with a mischievous grin. In a dramatic moment, a student, partially undressed and bruised, collapses at his feet like a character from a low-budget film. The room fills with gasps as Takahashi grabs the student by his hair, causing him to grimace in pain. Things take a strange turn when Takahashi orders the student to bark instead of speak, and to everyone's surprise, the student complies, much to his embarrassment. Laughter erupts among the onlookers, creating chaos in the classroom. The beaten-up student regrets his decision to protect a friend, questioning whether staying uninvolved could have prevented his current suffering. Despite this, he tries to console himself by thinking that his friend may appreciate his actions, although this notion feels weak considering his circumstances. Whispers of cruelty circulate as the other student hides behind Yuri, burdened by guilt for causing his friend suffering. Yuri's demeanor darkens upon hearing this, and she moves forward confidently, ignoring the taunts from the jeering students. A crude joke is thrown her way, causing laughter from the crowd, but she remains unfazed. Her smile becomes even more intense as she walks past the mocking group towards the beaten-up student, showing unexpected gentleness as she reaches out to him. Her calm composure is in stark contrast to the chaotic environment, and she manages to make the act of lifting his face seem like a scene from a movie. She genuinely praises him, but her subsequent words strike the troublemakers like a blow to the stomach. Yuri doesn't hold back, calling them out for failing to live up to their title. The troublemakers seethe with anger, and Takahashi finally loses his cool, storming over to grab Yuri by the shirt. Despite his threatening demeanor, Yuri's laughter cuts through his rage effortlessly. Coolly and almost nonchalantly, she takes hold of his shoulder, effortlessly lifting him and tossing him around like a rag doll. The room falls into a stunned silence as Takahashi crashes to the floor with a loud thud, groaning in defeat. Yuri looks around at the crowd with a smirk, clearly relishing their shocked expressions. She boldly states her intention to claim the top position at the school, leaving everyone, including Takahashi, speechless. The following morning, Yuri chooses to go to school by herself, ignoring her driver's concerns about safety. When she steps outside, she takes out a shiny transportation card, her eyes shining with excitement as if she has found a treasure. She views it as a modern convenience miracle and starts planning how she can use it every day. On the other hand, Shimizu, a well-dressed guy with a phone constantly attached to his ear, finishes a call effortlessly. The news of some corrupted data does not bother him. He takes pride in his competence and considers himself above the incompetence of others. Juggling a corporate job and various extracurricular activities has turned his life into a stress-filled balancing act. Despite his extracurricular activities, Shimizu's side job involves pushing ethical boundaries, starting with a hidden camera scheme out of curiosity. However, when his sales skyrocketed online, it became his secret source of income. His collection includes married women and schoolgirls, showcasing the depths of his creepiness. His target for the day is someone unsuspecting and unlikely to cause trouble. Then he sees her, Yuri. His breath catches, as he believes she is out of his league, a beautiful goddess among ordinary people. He immediately concludes that she is not the ideal target for him. His intended target is someone who is not very noticeable, simple, and gloomy, with an air of constant self-doubt. Spotting a meek-looking woman nearby, exuding awkwardness, Shimizu grins as if he has hit the jackpot, then discreetly approaches her while blending into the crowd, activating a hidden camera in his shoe. The excitement of this twisted mission makes him feel elated. Sneaking up, he accidentally brushes against the woman's back, causing her to freeze in shock without saying a word. In his mind, Shimizu is already envisioning future profits from exploiting the high school girl he is harassing. However, just as he is feeling pleased with himself, a voice interrupts his smug thoughts. Yuri notices the woman's pale face and helps her sit on a bench to calm down. Despite the woman expressing her gratitude, Shimizu, who is watching their interaction, becomes increasingly annoyed. He cannot shake his disapproval of confident, clever, and troublemaking women like her. She is the type of individual he actively avoids and decides it is best to leave before things worsen. As he is about to excuse himself, the woman suddenly accuses him of harassing her. Yuri is surprised while Shimizu stifles a chuckle, already predicting the chaos that will ensue. Confident in his ability to manage the situation, he refutes the claim and requests proof, understanding that keeping calm is crucial. He implies that the woman may be seeking money through a settlement, while also making a joke about the behavior of students these days. However, the woman hesitates and starts coughing, making him smugly confident that she is retracting her statement. Just before he can leave, Yuri unexpectedly compliments his watch. Shimizu, taken aback, expresses his gratitude, but she goes on to mention his branded tie, suit, and bag. He He feels a sense of pride until Yuri mentions his non-branded shoes. Her observation leaves him momentarily confused, wondering about her intentions. He dismisses it by explaining that he walks a lot as a salesman, but Yuri's smile intensifies as she remarks on his inconsistency. The remark impacts him more than he would like to admit. Yuri moves closer, her tone becoming more serious as she analyzes his actions. She accuses him of trying too hard to conceal his true self, highlighting the discrepancies in his behavior. Shimizu, flustered, steps back, vehemently denying the accusation of harassment. Suddenly, both of them notice someone recording the entire interaction. Shimizu starts to panic when he realizes the potential consequences if the video is shared online. In a desperate attempt to escape, he is taunted by Yuri, who suggests he is trying to run away from the situation. Yuri then forcefully grabs Shimizu's collar and slams him to the ground, leaving him dazed and teary-eyed. With surprising strength, she picks up one of his shoes and points to it, causing Shimizu to be shocked into silence. Security intervenes and detains him, despite his loud protests of innocence, as he is being dragged away. Shimizu continues to shout about being falsely accused, but no one seems to listen to his pleas. After the chaos settles down, the schoolgirl expresses her gratitude to Yuri for helping her when she was scared. Yuri, on the other hand, appears disgusted by the whole incident and mutters about the negative rumors that surround such situations. Suddenly realizing she is late for school, Yuri glances at her watch and hurries away. Yuri leisurely walks down the hallway, catching snippets of conversation from a group of students who are gossiping about her. They are buzzing with excitement about the new transfer student from Class 2B, commenting on her wealthy background and attractive appearance. Some even joke about her supposedly defeating Takahashi on her first day, noting his lack of fighting skills. Despite the growing chatter around her, Yuri remains composed and continues walking with a smile. She overhears one of them complaining about the dirty floor and warning against spitting on it, which she finds strange but stays unfazed. Upon entering the classroom, she greets everyone casually and inquires about what they are doing. A bully tries to impress her by joking about her reputation as a popular girl and predicts that her presence will cause a stir, although she is confused by the reference to Buzz. They exchange introductions enthusiastically, boasting about their popular video streaming channel with over 400 subscribers. One of the boys, Xavier, is known as the eccentric one who enjoys accepting bizarre challenges from their viewers. Yuri is unsure of how to respond to the situation, so she looks at Xavier with confusion. When they mention their strange videos involving physical challenges, her eyebrows raise as she repeats the streamer's challenge casually. She tries to understand everything that is happening. One of them mischievously asks if she would like to join in one of their popular challenges requested by viewers. With a smirk, he poses the question about the size of her melons. Completely perplexed, Yuri questions what he means by melons. The guy, with a wider grin, clarifies, but Yuri seems unfazed. She dryly responds that she would have to ask an old man to find out. The bully laughs and shares the fiery comment from viewers, instructing Xavier to give Yuri a massage. Xavier appears uncomfortable and hesitates before shaking his head. The bully, always provoking, grins evilly and reminds Xavier of the consequences if he does not comply. Trembling, Xavier reluctantly reaches out his hand towards Yuri, willing to do whatever it takes. However, Yuri does not agree. She calmly asks Xavier if he is okay with the situation. Confused, Xavier wonders what she means. With a knowing expression, Yuri takes his hand and gives him a soft but serious look, indicating she understands. It is clear that the others are pressuring Xavier into doing things he does not want to do. She suggests to him that if he is not happy with the situation, he needs to assert himself. This relationship is not based on friendship, but manipulation. Xavier reminisces about the past when they were close friends who trusted each other. However, things have now changed. The bully proposes that they team up and stream together, fantasizing about achieving fame, fortune, and attracting girls. Xavier, feeling overwhelmed by it all, understands that these are just unrealistic dreams. As they began streaming, the dynamic of their relationship shifted drastically. The increasing demand for more extreme content and the rising expectation from their growing audience led to burnout. The pressure continued to mount, causing both of them to behave recklessly. The situation escalated when they shaved Xavier's head, prompting him to realize that he needed to intervene. He informs them that he is no longer willing to participate in all of this. The bully dismisses his words, showing a lack of concern. Another individual steps forward, labeling Xavier as useless and offering to take his place. Xavier attempts to prevent this, believing that the person is acting impulsively, but the bully advances towards Yuri with a malicious grin. Xavier tightens his fists, understanding that he is the only one capable of putting an end to this. In a surge of emotion, he charges forward and lands a punch in the bully's face. Yuri observes with a cheerful expression as the other bully looks on in astonishment. Xavier doesn't back down and takes down the bully, who screams and swears revenge. Xavier firmly declares that he is done streaming, firmly standing his ground. The bully makes more threats, but Xavier responds by telling him to never forgive him. Meanwhile, the live stream chat reacts wildly to the unfolding chaos. Some people joke about how chaotic it is, while others threaten to stop being fans if Xavier leaves, and some are just eagerly anticipating the drama. The situation is quickly becoming legendary. The defeated bully looks to his partner for help, but before the partner can react, Yuri swoops in, flying through the air, and lays him out on the ground with her signature move. The battered bully, looking disheveled and stunned, stares up at her as she smirks. She casually calls him rude for interrupting a fight between two people. Her confidence leaves the other bully speechless. The feedback pours in, commending Yuri for her composed demeanor and criticizing Xavier for his toughness. In another room, Takahashi watches the live stream with a clenched jaw. He grumbles to himself about Yuri's apparent act of portraying herself as a hero. He cannot tolerate her arrogance and vows to defeat her at all costs. Yuri sits in class, reflecting on the amount of attention she is receiving today. It feels as though there is no room left for her. Suddenly, a classmate approaches her. With a smile, his face wrapped in bandages, he introduces himself as Murata, the person she assisted not long ago. He expresses his gratitude for her help that day. She is a bit perplexed, not immediately recognizing him. The bell rings, marking the end of class, and they walk together down the hallway. Murata remarks that she has not had many opportunities to explore the school, to which Yuri agrees, acknowledging there are still many places she hasn't seen. He notices that the teacher lacks effort, and the boys in their class seem to avoid her. However, he kindly offers to give her a tour. Gratefully accepting his offer, Yuri smiles as Murata guides her through the school. Their first stop is the cafeteria, where he jokes that it's a popular spot for troublemakers, causing Yuri to laugh at its dreary appearance. Moving on, they visit the rooftop, which also attracts delinquents, but offers a spectacular view. The duo then explores the infirmary, which is another hangout for rebellious students. Yuri expresses amazement at the various hangout spots in the school, drawing parallels to the Yankee Manga she admires. She is visibly thrilled and radiant with excitement. Murata nods in agreement, while suggesting there's a place she might find even more appealing. Intrigued, Yuri eagerly awaits their next stop. Upon reaching an open area, she inquires about the nature of the place. Suddenly, footsteps approach, and a familiar voice interrupts their conversation. Takahashi makes his grand entrance with his signature mischievous grin, teasing her about her tardiness and mocking her appearance as usual. Murata and Yuri are surprised to see Takahashi with a group of delinquents. With a smirk, he mentions her viral video and newfound internet fame. Yuri, completely unaware, inquires about his identity. He clenches his teeth and retorts, disclosing that he is the one she sent flying, Takahashi. Yuri casts a glance at him, quietly expressing her disdain for the messy situation. Takahashi glares back, filled with rage. He curses her and declares that she will no longer receive any favors from him after today. He instructs his subordinate to intervene and teach her a lesson. To Yuri's surprise, Murata, the man she assisted earlier, grabs her from behind and apologizes softly in her ear. Murata, appearing remorseful, acknowledges how things have deteriorated since she helped him. He reveals that Takahashi promised to cease causing trouble for others if Murata brought her in. Fearing the repercussions, he begs for forgiveness. Takahashi smirks, relishing the chaos, and ridicules her about the feeling of betrayal by the person she aided. Yuri remains composed and unaffected, shaking her head at Takahashi's hopelessness. Takahashi, growing more agitated, cautions her that she still doesn't understand. He mocks her for being powerless now and threatens to harm her face. As he advances closer, a voice interrupts, advising him to stop being so uncool. Suddenly, a new guy emerges from the scene, picking up Takahashi and throwing him down. Takahashi yells in anger, wondering about the situation. The new guy stands confidently, criticizing Takahashi and his friends for targeting a vulnerable girl. Yuri observes with interest, noting that the new guy appears to be a character from an action film. With a grin, he suggests to Takahashi that he should treat women with respect if he wants to be seen as a true man.